Hey, good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge, Georgia, from Blue Jeans Pizza. Yes, I'm getting all set up. We have a big morning in front of us. A lot going on. I'm your host, BKP, and Dr. William Whaley is here for 8:15 Ask the Doc. At 9 o'clock, our all-star political panel. At 9:40, we're going to do a brief high school football, Friday night high school football update of what's going on with Team FYN Sports. Director of Team FYN Sports, Jason Banks, is going to be with us. And then at 9:50, we'll be, I'm trying to make some changes here at the last minute. At 9:50, we will have our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Again, thank you for being with us this Friday morning. Beautiful downtown Blue Ridge, Blue Jeans Pizza. Nice cool morning in Blue Ridge. Long sleeve weather, but beautiful fall weather. You got to come up and spend the weekend with us. We're getting ready for so many festivals. We have Arts in the Park this weekend up here in Blue Ridge. Down in LJ, about 12 miles south of here, we've got the Apple Festival going on, and that's where Sam's at. You'll be able to find us at Arts in the Park. We'll be there, Fetch Your News, but we'll have a booth set up at the Apple Festival. You can come by downtown at the Apple Festival for the next 2 weekends and say hello to everybody from FetchYourNews.com. There'll be different times that Sam will be there. You can say hello to Sam. Richie will be there, Lonnie will be there, Rose will be there, Lisa will be there, I will be there, no telling who else. Maybe somebody from the All-Star panel will show up, but that's coming up. You got all of these. You know, Penn State is right there. They're number 3. Sorry, I know. Penn State's number 3. Who would have thought that? Cubs win a big one last night. Now, I figured it out. The Cubs won last night, and the Yankees won the night before because of the cigar. I got to explain later. I will get, when Rick gets on from the All-Star panel, we will discuss that. We will have the Cub fan. I know Nationals are out there. Fans are just like heartbroken over last night. But the Cubs advanced. Cubs and the Dodgers over there in the National League, and then the Yankees and the Astros, although I still cannot figure out, I can't get a grip on Houston Astros in the American League, but still yet, Yankees, Astros, Dodgers, Cubs. There you go. NLCS, ALCS. That starts tonight, the Yankees. So we're going to talk about that with the Cub fan on our all-star political panel. At 8:45, we're going to have Congressman Doug Collins. I want to ask Congressman Doug Collins, here's what I want to do. So I want you to tune in at 8:45, right after Ask the Doc, okay? I want you to tune in and listen to Congressman Doug Collins. And I like to have him on here once or twice a month. He comes on the show. I like to have him on and just let him tell us what's happening in Congress, because we can't expect the media to tell us what's happening in Congress, because, you know, just yesterday, MSNBC is doing everything they can to take the President of the United States down, doing everything in their power to try to end this president. And his West Wing is always in turmoil to hear them say it. Well, they have worked on 2 weeks of, the moron story with MSNBC. That's all we heard for 2 weeks is moron. And then we go into, they want to tell you that sources say that Trump wanted to increase our nuclear capacity tenfold. Well, General Mattis came out and said that didn't happen in the meeting. So that didn't happen. That's the Secretary of Defense. So we got the Secretary of State saying, hey, I didn't call the guy a moron. They're saying he didn't deny it, but he said he's not getting into that. He said, hey, I'm not getting into that. I'm not quitting. I'm not leaving. Okay, that's what he said. Then the tenfold nuclear arsenal buildup that Trump requested, Secretary of Defense said that didn't happen. And then yesterday they're working day and night to try to see if they can get John Kelly, that's the Chief of Staff, General John Kelly, to quit. So he comes out yesterday and says, I'm not going anywhere. This is where I work. I'm here to do my job. I don't know where you guys keep getting your information. So At 8:45, stay with us. At 8:45, we're going to have Congressman Doug Collins in here. And Congressman Doug Collins, we're just going to let him, give him the opportunity to tell us what is going on in Congress, what is happening, good or bad, that we do not hear on a daily basis. So that's 8:45. Congressman Doug Collins will be with us. We're going to find out, there's a couple things we're going to talk to the All-Star Political Panel, but today, I'm pretty sure, is the decision of Trump making the decision whether to continue to stay in the Iran nuclear deal, the worst deal ever. So that's today. CSR payments are ending. You're going to hear this all day long. If Congress could not repeal Obamacare, President Donald Trump will. I don't know about you, but I love seeing Rand Paul next to the president. Okay? I tell you, if I just had some staff that went through all of our stuff here on the show, it clipped out what we play and go over throughout the week. All right? You remember when President Trump went and played golf? I told you that day when they went and played golf, I told you, President Trump likes this guy. He likes this guy. The media pushed and pushed and pushed for Rand Paul to go negative on President Trump. Rand Paul did not go negative on Trump. I told you he liked this guy. Yesterday they ended what you're going to hear, CRS reduction. You're going to hear what President Donald Trump did hurt you, the poor, maybe not you, but the poorest segment of our country. The people, his voters, his loyal supporters is who it hurt the most. CSR, I keep saying CRS, but CSR payments, cost sharing reduction, okay? A discount that lowers the amount you have to pay for deductibles, co-payments, and co-insurance in the health insurance marketplace. Cost sharing reductions are often called extra savings. If you qualify, you must enroll in a plan in the silver category and get extra savings. Cost sharing reduction. We're going to talk about that with the All-Star panel. Have we forgotten that Congress is the one that legislates or has the purse strings? And Congress won a lawsuit saying Obama never was able to legally make these payments in court. They won because they were never authorized by Congress. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that with Congressman Doug Collins. Before we get in, John Kelly, we told you he's not quitting. Tax reform, tax reform, what's going to happen there? Now, I asked yesterday a question. I asked a big question yesterday on, do you think the First Amendment protects the media's right to lie to the American people? Now, obviously, the First Amendment protects your right to lie, whether you like that or not. If somebody wants to sit here and tell a lie, I guess they have the right to do that. Okay, the First Amendment protects the right to say pretty much whatever you want. But it's just like freedom. Some freedom, it's okay until I infringe on your freedom. And that being said, when you go to court and you take an oath, there's still a such thing as perjury. There's still a such thing as, you're not supposed to lie under oath. And I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, but is there a side of the media that they kindly take an unofficial oath, or they kind of take, a direction, they're supposed to take a direction to deliver you accurate information? So I don't know, what do you think, how far does the First Amendment protect your freedom of speech? And I know you're saying out there, well, wait a minute, that's a confusing question. I'm just saying, when you've got General Kelly coming out and you've got MSNBC lying and Joe Scarborough lying and all of them trying to determine the ability for the president and to maintain office, I don't know. I'm questioning that. I really am. Tax reform, where do we stand? The Iranian deal, where do we stand? We're going to talk about so many things with the All-Star panel. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge, Blue Jeans Pizza. I love it in here. I love the smell of pizza in the morning in Blue Ridge, Georgia. We don't get to hear the train whistle. We can hear it inside here around 9. We can still hear the train whistle across the street. We can still see Sycamore Crossing. We can still see our friends over at Tupelo Tea, New Blue Home and Gift, the Broken Bull. We can still see all of our friends over there, Kinty, the Peruvian store, but we are inside. I got all of these behind me. But the one I really am highlighting is Penn State this morning. Ask the Doc is coming up right after this with Dr. William Whaley. And then don't forget at 8:45, Congressman Doug Collins. We're going to take a break and get the Doc in here right now. Richie, take us to break.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hi, I'm Casey McGraw, the General Manager of Schottenkirk Ford. We're going to start doing something here at Schottenkirk that we're really excited about. You may have already noticed our Facebook page, the new edition of the 360-degree videos. This allows the user to control the video in virtual reality and see it from any angle you choose, simply by moving your device or scrolling with your finger or your mouse. At Schottenkirk, we've decided to take this groundbreaking technology and apply it to the car shopping experience. Now, if you're interested in a new truck, a family car, or a brand new convertible Mustang, you can simply log on to our Facebook page or our YouTube page and see it for yourself in full HD 360-degree detail. Or contact one of our sales associates who will send you the link directly. If you like what you see and want to take it for a test drive, simply stop on by and take it for a spin. At Schottenkirk Ford, we're committed to not only keep up with new market technology, but we strive to be innovators, while always keeping your comfort and convenience as our #1 priority. So follow us on Facebook, check out our new 360 VR videos, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Be sure to check out New Blue Home and Gift, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Find us on Twitter at New Blue Home. Everything beautiful for your home or a special gift can be found at New Blue Home and Gift. Call us today at 706-455-3873 or visit us at 531 East Main Street, Suite 103 in downtown Blue Ridge. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge.
Hey, and we're back. I'm your host, BKP, from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge, from Blue Jeans Pizza here. Beautiful Friday morning, every Friday morning. And it is time for our segment. We thank the Georgia Cancer Specialist for Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. Now, before we get started, don't forget, 8:45, Congressman Doug Collins is going to be calling in, and we're going to ask him directly what is really going on in Congress, because can't get the media to tell us. Maybe he'll tell us what's happening. Dr. Whaley, how are you this morning?
I'm great. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. That's what.
All right. Okay. We all got to have something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Something
I'm clearing out of the way.
Semi off the wall. You're going to have Pet of the Week.
Yes.
You remember we were talking about the Campylobacter jejuni fetus epidemic.
Yeah, how could I forget that?
Yeah, last week, which now actually has 75 patients in 12 states. But the reason I brought up the Pet of the Week this week is, I'm always supporting the Pet of the Week. Have you heard about people taking sick leave when they're nursing their sick pet? Now,
no.
Okay, well, the world's full of crybabies, and I think some of this family leave business is a little bit excessive, and how can a guy who's got a factory and he's trying to build something work into his overhead and everything else? Some guy's going to take off 6 weeks, call it maternity leave because his wife's pregnant. I'm too old for that. It doesn't get me. But when I found about that lady in Italy who got to go out on sick leave to take care of her sick puppy, I said, I just hope these people in this country don't learn about that, because Italy's a socialist country, but I just can't imagine giving people industrial business sick leave to care for a sick puppy. And I've got 3.
No, that one I didn't hear.
And Jane's taking one of our puppies to get fixed this morning. But the sick leave part I thought was excessive. You shouldn't raise your overhead on your automobile construction because somebody's got a sick puppy, right?
I didn't. That one I didn't hear. I'm going to have to look that one up.
You didn't hear about jejuni fetus last week. I got to have something new for you every week. All right.
That one's new.
All right.
We're going to get right into the questions this morning.
So I can get out of the way for Doug.
No, we're not getting you out of the way.
I love Doug,
We just
though.
want to make plenty of time for
All right.
everybody this morning. Okay, every week I get the questions, and I have to think about them for a minute, and then you, let's just go. Is loss of taste and smell normal with aging? Is it normal with aging to lose taste and smell, or could loss of taste and smell be from other causes?
Okay.
Now I like that question.
All right. Well, we did smell a few weeks ago, if you'll remember, and I talked about polyps and allergy and infection and all that. We're going to stay away from that today. But you want to put that chart up on the TV there. There's a chart there that's got, you won't be able to read it very well, but I put it up there because it's overwhelming. And I'll just quickly read a few of the things that are on there that can cause you to lose a sense of taste. Bone marrow transplant, Crohn's disease, exposure to chromium, cirrhosis of the liver, depression, hemodialysis, meningitis, multiple sclerosis, pernicious anemia. That's just a few. It's on and on and on. We're not going to talk about any of that today. So you can pull that big old chart down after everybody's had a chance to look at it. So yes, there are a lot of diseases interfere with the sense of taste and the sense of smell. It just so happens this question was sent to me Wednesday instead of Thursday. I like it coming Wednesday, by the way, because my wife had people last night. So as I'm looking at that, I ran across a study that was released on Monday. So this was a very, very topical study. And here's the story. First of all, how do you define the sense of smell? Doctors don't test for the sense of smell. You've never been to a doctor's office where they tested you for smell. I did learn that you could take, we had coffee in a little vial, we had peppermint in a little vial, and we had orange extract in a little vial when I was on the neurology service taking a elective. But the average doctor doesn't test for smell. At the University of Chicago, they did a study on 3,000 adults age 57 to 85. Now the question says, are these lost with aging? So this age group of people is 57 to 85, and they gave them 5 smells to discern. Peppermint, that's pretty easy to listen to. Fish, people can smell fish. Orange, that's the citrus thing we used to get. Rose, and leather. Now you would be able to discriminate those 5 things. So they measured them, and 5 years later they went back and measured them. All right, now, of that group of people, so that was a big group, 57 years old to 85. Well, I'm 77, you're 36, but you're getting a little older, 39 maybe you are. Okay, so this sense of smell, if you had only been able to determine 1 of 5 of those when you were tested the first time, and they went back 5 years later, you had about a 30% worse chance of having developed Alzheimer's disease in that 5 years. So somehow or other that sense of smell was linked to deteriorating intellectual capacity and the development of Alzheimer's. If you had gotten, say, 3 or 4 out of 5, you had a higher rate of Alzheimer's, but it was directly proportional to how many you had missed. So if you got all 5, that rate of Alzheimer's was here. If you got 3 out of 5, that many got Alzheimer's. If you got 1 out of 5, that many got Alzheimer's. So the sense of smell in some fashion was linked to the development of Alzheimer's. No cause and effect, just a linkage. So the answer to the question is yes, sense of smell and taste deteriorates with age naturally. If it deteriorates with age to a greater extent than average, it may be associated with some diminishing brain function. And the hooker was that the sense of smell and the sense of taste are at the outside of linkages to the centers within the brain, and therefore, I don't want to say pollution, but influences that are in the air and in what we taste can get to the nerve and then get to the brain kind of like it was going down a highway. So nobody has figured out exactly why that is, but it was a very interesting finding. And so the answer to the question is sense of taste and sense of smell does deteriorate with age, starts doing so in the late 40s and early 50s. And if it seems to be worse than in you than somebody else, it might mean that you've got some sort of a degenerative disease going on. Not anything on that big old long list there, however. But there's nothing you can do about it. There's no treatment for it, and it's a statistical thing, and forget about it. But that's the answer to that question. Oh, and the thing about the smell, remember, most of the smell stuff is common. We've got the ragweed out now, and we've got the goldenrod out now. And smell is polyps, infection in the nose, allergy, maybe dental, maybe sinus, but that's generally related to some sort of thing that can be fixed.
Can well, the ragweed's out. That I know for a fact because the bridge of my glasses, my eyes are watering, and I can't stand to have.
Remember there, it's Zatador and Alawak or whatever. You go to the pharmacy, and the A farthest to the left, A, and the farthest to the right, Z, on the eye drops are the same drug, and get the generic one, and it says for eye allergy, and put 2 drops in there twice a day, and your eyes will be as good as they're going to get. It may not be totally normal. Zatador.
Well, that ragweed has been bothering me, but I have found a cure for it. It's called cigars and baseball.
Yeah, and stay in the house.
Yeah.
Turn on the air conditioning, all right.
Can a person's medical condition or illness cause a change in their personality and behavior?
This really sounds like a simple question, doesn't it?
Well, yes, it does, and
But
yes.
I want you to think about how much of a difference those 2 words are: personality and behavior. And so I'm going to split it and focus on the 2 as separate. Personality, no. The personality disorders, so to speak, are very serious psychiatric disorders, and I'm not going to try and build a watch here, but the medical community divides personality disorders into 3 categories. Category A, or cluster A, people appear odd or eccentric. So stop and think about the people that you know that are odd or eccentric, and then the medical terminology for that is schizoid or schizotypical. Nothing about a medical condition affects that. That's a personality disorder. The second group of personalities, cluster B, are people who are dramatic, emotional, or erratic. Now, we know people who have behaviors that are dramatic, they're emotional, a lot of those people go down there and act at the theater or something. So where that becomes disease is narcissistic, antisocial, borderline personalities, and that's kind of where you find the psychopaths and things like that. Medical illnesses don't cause that. The third group of personality disorders are people that appear anxious and fearful. Well, we know people who are kind of afraid to go outside. I don't want to fly because I'm afraid they're going to blow up the airplane, or, that's socially acceptable. My wife has those. But people whose personalities are anxious or fearful. Where you get into the psychiatric end of that is avoidant behavior, where they don't do anything. Obsessive compulsive, the people like, they wash their hands all the time, or they'll come in here with a handy wipe and wipe this thing up even after the people have done the the thing wiped up, or very dependent. They can't do anything for themselves. So I will say that, to get the personality thing out of the way, nothing about a medical condition affects those personalities. Now, behavior, lots of medical things. Low thyroid disease makes you sluggish. High thyroid disease makes you hyperactive. That's behavior, not personality. Testosterone. You remember we're talking about testosterone replacement therapy. Everybody remembers the weightlifter, wrestler in Atlanta who killed his wife and then wrapped a weight cord around himself and dropped the weights and killed himself. Testosterone can make people hostile, angry, and mean, so that if the disorder is that you are making testosterone in a tumor or taking extra testosterone, that's your behavior, not your personality. If you remember that President Kennedy had Addison's disease, his adrenal glands didn't work, and those people, their behavior becomes sort of subdued, their energy goes down, they're liable to infection and stress, and he took cortisone all of his life. And then lastly, hyperadrenal, kind of jittery or so forth, and that medical condition, that's again behavior, hypervigilant, hyperactive, hyper alert. Adrenaline is fight, flight activity, and so those types of medical conditions affect your behavior, and then the personalities are not affected by your medical conditions. Is that good enough?
Yeah, because I will tell you this, I like the way you divided, because it at first it did sound like a simple question, and I like the way you divided personality and behavior, and I didn't think of it that way. And that's, I mean, you made it very clear. You made it very clear the difference in personality and behavior. I'm just getting over a cold, and my ears feel plugged. What causes this? Is there any remedy for stopped up plugged ears? Okay,
this is it's a good question this time of year because of the ragweed. I had a picture that I was going to show. Technology is not, I'm not much technology, so I didn't get that picture. But when you have a cold, or when you have the ragweed, you've got you got a stuffy nose, you blow your nose. The eustachian tube that drains the ear, when you're scuba diver or something, you have to pop like
right.
that. So the most common thing is your eustachian tube is full of inflammation caused by a virus and not by ragweed, and then your ear can't equilibrate the pressure. And so you go, chew gum, blow your nose. And that's the most common causation of it. And the non-sedating antihistamine or the nasal sprays that are all over the counter can open up the eustachian tube. But, and this is specifically, I have a cold and I'm getting over it. So I want to stick to the fact that this occurs acutely related to a cold. Now, the most common stuffed ear that isn't related to this getting over a cold is waxing ears. And you can't look in there and you can't see it, and people take Q-tips and stick them in their ear. We used to say in medical school, don't stick anything in your ear any smaller than your elbow. Meaning, don't put a paper clip in there, don't stick a matchstick in there, don't stick a Q-tip in there. And if you're going to stick a Q-tip in there, you need to just do it on the outside to get it dry. And if you've got wax in your ear, you got to go to the pharmacy, or you can go to your doctor and have him look in there and say you got wax ear, then he'll send you to the pharmacy. And the pharmacist has 2 or 3 things over the counter that he can give you that you put in your ear, it melts the wax, you get into the shower, you let hot water run in your ear. So that type of plugged up ear, not associated with the cold or with the allergy, the pharmacist will help you do it with the products over the counter. But I want to really caution people that stuffiness after a cold is not a joke. If you go on an airplane ride and you don't carry with you Afrin or something, take Sudafed or one of these over-the-counter Claritin D, if it says D, it's a decongestant. when you come down from altitude, you can rupture your eardrum. Jane has actually ruptured her eardrum in an airplane because she used to have a whole lot of allergy sinus problems. But on the inside, so here's the eardrum. There are all those little bones. These bones connect at the skull to a thing called the oval window. And if your eardrum, which is a little bit thicker, doesn't rupture, and that oval window ruptures, you may have a lifetime of dizziness that can't be fixed. So it's not a joke. So if you're stuffy after the flu or the allergy, it's over-the-counter non-sedating antihistamines with or without the D. It's the non-prescription nasal sprays. We don't have any of the prescriptions anymore to open it up. And then once you know you're opened up and the air is flowing freely, if you still feel stuffy, you got wax in your ears, go to the pharmacist.
Well, you know, when I fly, when we start to descend for landing, I'm embarrassed to say how I look with my chewing of gum. But
Okay.
I chew the daylights out of gum coming down.
Have you ever scuba dived?
Yes, one time.
Okay,
One
well-
time I did one time.
Okay, well, you can easily learn to clear your ears when you scuba dive, because if you don't, you're going to rupture your eardrum. And people who don't have the ability to clear their ears, or who have nasal allergies and so forth, we tell people to avoid Afrin and Afrin-like nasal sprays because they make you breathe so good that you get hooked on them and you want to use them every day. When you're going to be using a nasal drug like Afrin, you stop in 3 days, and then you say, okay, I sure did breathe well for 3 days, but doc said I got to quit, because otherwise the nasal mucous membrane gets used to it all the time. Well, I tell people with this problem, you stick with your passport or with whatever else, whatever kind of traveling you're doing, a bottle of Afrin and some Sudafed or Claritin D or something that works quick. And about an hour before you start to descend, you take that drug, the Claritin D or the Sudafed or whatever, if you ask your pharmacist, take it. And then an hour to 30 minutes, use that Afrin and get your airway open before you start down, because if you start down and you're not really good at it, you could be miserable. One of those eardrums can rupture.
Oh, I have.
But you don't want to, when you get that bad, I mean, the ruptured oval membrane, no family practitioner, general internist even knows what that is. I was a flight surgeon, you know, when I was after Vietnam. So I know about the ruptured oval membrane because of flight surgery training, and I also made that diagnosis in my clinical practice probably 50 times. And that, you got to go out to Emory and let Dr. Steenerson, who's a specialist, try and patch that oval membrane with a piece of a vein they take out of your leg, and I mean, it's a mess. So get you some Afrin and some Claritin D.
I'm glad I brought that up, because
take it before you land. You don't want to be.
The next time I fly, I'm definitely going to do
Yeah,
that.
you don't want to be chewing gum and doing this and having a problem. You want to get where you don't have to do that.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Before we close, we always like to have a couple minutes. If there's anything you've researched or anything that you'd like to share, I mean, maybe something political. I never know with you. Let's just put it like that. I always like to have a good 2 minutes to open the door and say, how would you like to close this morning?
If I invest in something, you need to sell it short, because it's going to go down. All right. I've never made a good investment in my life.
Take him off the list.
Except my wife. I made a good.
I'll give you that one last chance.
I was going to give her. I made a great choice in a wife, and she's made some good investments. But anyway, I was shocked yesterday. If something goes up 1,000%, that's a huge number. Obesity in the world has gone up 1,000% outside the U.S. We're bad enough in children in 20 years. I was shocked at that. We talked about the soft drinks here a few weeks
Right.
ago, and about Mexico putting a tax on the stuff, and about the tax on the sugary drinks. I'm shocked, stunned, and amazed. And this is not because kids are playing with their games instead of going out in the yard and playing cowboys and Indians. This is in parts of the world where it's not technology driven, but that's really a shock to me in the children with diabetes and early heart disease in their 20s and stuff. It's scared the heck out of me. Anyway, and I wrote it down right there.
Dr. Whaley, I always appreciate it. I thank you so much. I learned so much. Our viewers, I'm not going to go into detail. One of our viewers called me last week after the show, and you said so many things that they shared with their granddaughter. So I just want to let you know, I don't want to go into it now, but I'll just say it had something to do with piercing, and we'll leave it there.
Yeah,
okay.
I understand.
So we're not going to get.
Okay, I did want to tell you, about 2 weeks from now, I think it's the 27th or something, you're going to have a real good time here. Dr. Jennifer Jones, who's my partner, has been practicing oncology here in the mountains for 12 or 15 years, is going to take my place because Ray's daughter, granddaughter, somebody's getting married, and I'm going to be at Parents' Weekend at Cornell University with my granddaughter, who doesn't have any piercings or any ink. So,
No.
Dr. Jennifer Jones will be here. It's
Well,
gonna be
we
interesting.
look forward to that. And Dr. Tidman yesterday, since he is not going to be able to be here, he did send me a joke.
I saw that.
Did you see that? Yeah. So
To say-
no matter how much you push the envelope, it's still stationary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dr. Tidman. Thank you, Dr. Whaley. And especially thank you, Georgia Cancer Specialist. Right after these messages, folks, tune in your computer a little bit. May have to put the volume up. We do not do a lot of roadshow phone calls. So we're going to make this attempt with Congressman Doug Collins right on the other side of this break. And hopefully he could tell us what's going on in Congress, because can't really rely on the media. We'll be back right after these messages. Again, thank you. Thanks to Georgia Cancer Specialist. Taking a break, Rick.
Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels. The Tupelo Tea Mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
The 46th Annual Georgia Apple Festival Arts and Crafts Show, one of the South's premier festivals, is held in beautiful Ellijay, Georgia. Enjoy watching demonstrating artists and musicians, or try some tasty cooking from one of our delicious food vendors. With a parade, car show, and handmade arts and crafts from more than 300 vendors, there's plenty of fall fun for everyone. For more information, visit georgiaapplepfestival.org.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Hey, and we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge, Georgia. We broadcast every Friday morning from Blue Jeans Pizza. October, come on up in the North Georgia mountains and check out the leaves, the changing of the leaves, and all of our fall festivals, from the Arts in the Park here in Blue Ridge to the Apple Festival down in LJ. Joining me now is Congressman Doug Collins. And what we're going to do this morning, folks, you know, we have, we're going to take the filter off, okay? We have so many news outlets, we'll just call them that, news outlets that have so many filters of what's really going on in Congress. So we're glad to be joined by Congressman Doug Collins. We want to give him an opportunity to tell us what work is really going on in the House of Representatives. Congressman Collins, welcome this morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, Brian. It's always good to talk to you.
Let's do just that. Let me just open the door and you tell us some of the things that are actually happening in Congress that we don't get to hear through the media that's actually taking place on the floor. Could you share a couple things that's going on with us?
Sure. I mean, I think the biggest things is, you know, and I've went through some of these before. I think the interesting thing is I'm drawing a distinct line when we talk about Congress and we talk about the House and the Senate. I've decided that it's time to just sort of, you know, you said unfiltered. I'm going to pull off the gloves a little bit.
Okay.
The House is working. The Senate is paralyzed. And the House over this past year has passed all 12. We just this past month passed all 12 appropriations bills. We had not done that since 2006. That meant that there's a conservative appropriations process, went through the House and went to the Senate. Now, I'm going to also tell you something also interesting. The Senate has not even taken up one appropriations bill, and they've been in session as long as we have. We go back almost 2.5 months ago when the press were salivating over Comey going to Capitol Hill to talk about some investigation or what he did or didn't say to the president.
Hey, wait, whoa, I'm not going to interrupt you, but let me see if I can pass this test. On that day,
okay,
we repealed Dodd-Frank. Did I pass?
Exactly.
Thank you. I just wanted to check, Congress. I didn't mean to be rude.
I'm glad you got to know. I mean, because we've been talking about it. I guess what I'm trying to say is in the House, we passed sanctuary city bills. We passed, you know, issues with fixing the VA. In fact, the president has signed the largest, one of the biggest reformations of the VA structural hiring practices. This did get through the House and the Senate, and the president actually signed it. And yet, I don't see the president getting credit for signing. I don't see the Congress. What we're seeing right now is a lot of things that are going on in working toward getting the regulatory burdens dropped down. We took 14 CRAs over this past year. We have done almost, and I think the president, vice president, I was at the White House just the other day. The vice president said that was $8 billion in compliance costs that have been cut away. We're seeing, you know, the things that now are starting with tax reform, which is exciting to see. But again, what you see so many times is this grouping together of things that are being chased by press and others in Washington, D.C. because really, as I told one of the press meetings the other day, you're in an alternate universe up here. You're not understanding that what's going on out in most of our districts where the people are wanting to see the president succeed, they're wanting to see our country succeed because they believe first and foremost that they're Americans. And that's something that I think is missing in this conversation a lot of times.
Well, I appreciate it, and again, I apologize for being rude. I just wanted to just to insert that while Comey was the headline of the day, Dodd-Frank and our community banks were also a headline on the floor. And I appreciate that. I thank you. Now, you have pulled back, and I said Congress, and just for those at home, Congress is the Senate and the House. But I'm gonna go with not to go down this road with Steve Bannon, but I watched a Charlie Rose interview, and he was very his comments concerning obstruction with the Senate, and then when he was asked about the House and Speaker Ryan, he said not so much. He said not so much, and it seems to be that most people are understanding the logjam per se with appropriation bills and so many other things is over in the Senate.
Well, it is. And even even Sean Hannity the other day, Paul Ryan went on with Sean, and after a few minutes, if you go back and catch the clip, Sean had to finally admit, he said, "You're right. The House is doing it." So I think, and I'm not trying to throw blame here, but I just want it to be clear that, especially from from conservative values in Northeast Georgia, these are the kind of things we're fighting for. We're trying to work with a president who is trying to move an agenda forward. He is, working and was elected on a conservative platform that said, government's too large. Government is too intrusive. It is something that we need to work on and get, back into proper perspective. So I think from the perspective of what we're looking at and saying, as we move forward is what is the best for, the folks who get up every day and, the first thing in their thought processes is not what's going on in Washington, D.C. The thing that we've got to focus on, I think, is getting an economy growing, getting the regulatory burden off so that they can get up, go to work, drop the kids off, earn a better paycheck, expand their business, go home, watch a football game tonight, do the things that most Americans do without worrying about what is going on in Washington, D.C. And that's the way it ought to be, that Washington has the best interests of the constituents at heart. We can disagree on what that is, but that ought to be the very burden that is on Congress. And so I'm proud of what the House has done. I'm frustrated with what the Senate has not done, but also at times what they have done. They put a Supreme Court justice who will be there for many years that I think will uphold conservative values that we have fought for. And I think that's one of the biggest election differences last year was the Supreme Court. So we're seeing positive change there. I think at a certain point in time, we just need to continue, to do what matters the most. And I can't always stop without saying something about our district staff. And sometimes we always talk about bills and we talk about, passage of laws and those kind of things. But also I want to say for the things in Northeast Georgia that we're fighting for, I mean, we've got a broadband company, Windstream, a telephone company, that is absolutely just discrediting itself with its customers. I mean, I've got customers in Habersham County and White County and some other places that have been told it'll be the end of October before they get phone or internet service back. There are people in Puerto Rico who are getting power back before my folks in these areas are getting their internet and phone service back. We've been fighting hard to say, what are you doing with the federal dollars and what are you doing with your response? We're dealing with the Corps of Engineers. We're dealing with VA issues. Those are the kind of things at the end of the day I think make a huge difference.
Well, Congressman, I'm glad you brought up Windstream, and that's why we love to have you on the show because, yes, there's that big Washington, D.C. that, and there's that big country out there, but I like to stay a little focused on North Georgia, so I'm glad you brought that up because I know you have been working for several years trying to, let's just say, make some corrections where internet service and providers are concerned, especially Windstream, in your district. So I'm glad you brought that up. Let me move. Go ahead, sir.
And I just want to interject there, Brian. Not only are we pointing out the problems, which we've done for almost 4 years, we've also introduced a bill which the SEC chairman, Chairman Pye, is touting all over the country called the Gigabyte Opportunity Act that encourages companies and states to streamline opportunities for investment to be made into areas like ours in the 9th District where they can get tax deferrals, they can get same-year deductions on expenditures, and go into areas that are not being served right now and provide some competition. And I think that's a good thing. So we're not only saying, here's what's bad, we're saying here's a solution as well.
Congressman, we got about 3 minutes, so let me ask you some pretty pointed questions. Cost sharing reduction. We're going to hear all day how the executive order that the president signed yesterday concerning starting to dismantle Obamacare, the cost sharing reduction payments. But the media passes over that actually the courts said that these payments are illegal, correct? Because the House did not appropriate this money. Am I correct?
That is exactly right. In fact, I helped in that a little bit in the House early on as we were doing some oversight investigation, and that was actually a lawsuit brought by the former Speaker, John Boehner, in which we won. These payments were illegal. They were spending off book. So, I mean, you know, they can say whatever they want to. This is another screw up of the Obama administration.
Well, does this pass? Does this, what happened yesterday with the president starting to dismantle Obamacare, does this push health care back in? I know the House, you guys passed something, you put it before the president, you sent it over to the Senate, and it failed. And that's just the bottom line.
Yep.
But does this push that back to the surface that now you have to do something, not just the House?
Yeah, Brian, it does. But I'm also never one to blow sunshine where sunshine's not appropriate. It concerns me. I believe it's fairly proper. I think what you're going to hear, though, from everybody is that you're hurting people, you're doing this, and the administration may get that blowback. But we've got Republicans and also Democrats in other part of the country that seemingly, and I mean, the Senate was proof of that, and I've got some in the House as well, that are willing to say, you know, look, we couldn't do it, so let's just Band-Aid or throw more money at this, and then actually try to pass something that way through leverage. So my concern is, yes, it's going to force this debate back on the table. My concern is that we're going to have to fight extra hard when the debate comes back to do something like we did in the House and not just some knee-jerk reaction to kick more money at something because they'll put people up who are being harmed. Obamacare has harmed the national economy. Let's quit always talking about those that you know that are in a position of they may get hurt in this. It's hurt our country, and I think I want to fix it to make our healthcare system productive for everybody.
From the House side, will we get tax reform? Will tax reform?
Yes.
From the House side, we will get the tax reform bill. And obviously, you can't speak for the Senate, but how comfortable do you feel this year getting a tax reform bill on the president's desk?
I feel very comfortable. In fact, I think it has been it's the top priority of us in leadership. It is the top priority of the Speaker. In fact, the Speaker put us on notice yesterday that he would keep us through Christmas or any other holiday to get it done this year. It was very disturbing to see some of the members of the Senate already saying, well, you know, we got to negotiate. It may be the first of the year. No, it's time to get behind the American people, get behind this president, and pass tax reform. It's way past due.
Okay, the immigration, the 17-point, I think it was, plan that the president put out last Sunday night, DACA, just in general, where do you stand on what he put out?
I think he gave us a lot of stuff that we've been asking for a long time. I think it just shows that if the Democrats want to oppose this, they're actually opposing security. They're actually opposing, some stuff that I think most Americans want. DACA needs to be fixed, Brian. This is not an issue that, we can't, and I've said this before. I made this comment for the last 5 years. There's not enough buses just to send everybody back, but there's also not a path to amnesty that we just need to go to simply because we don't have an answer. The president laid out a framework. My hope is that that's what we're going to deal with in the Congress to fix this when he properly put it back into Congress where it belongs, not in the executive order. So my hope is that we're going to see a balance on security and proper immigration response that will deal with these DACA recipients.
Okay, we got 30 seconds. I always ask this only for one reason, Congressman. The media, many in the media, the national media, like to spend their day seeing if they could separate you, your colleagues, the Senate from the president, always trying to create a conflict with the president. So can you say this morning you still support President Donald Trump?
I always have.
I know. I gotta ask.
We're constantly.
I just want to give you a chance to say, because you never know when you're going to make the list with one of the other networks of the person that may have said something. And just to make sure,
yeah.
I'm always listening, Congressman. We got to fix the leak in the wall, the pipe, before we grab the mop, right?
Oh yeah, well that's exactly it. That's what I've said many times before.
Oh,
See, the lessons are being taken.
Yeah, I'm always listening, Congressman. Hey, listen, you have a nice day. We appreciate you coming on and sharing what's really going on the floor. And thank you so much. And enjoy your day best you can in D.C. Okay, but we thank you.
Yeah, well, you take care. Y'all have a great day in Blue Ridge. Okay.
All right, thank you, Congressman Doug Collins, in 9th Congressional District here in North Georgia. We're going to take a break, and right after these messages, it's time for the All-Star Panel with Rick and Bruce. Take us a break.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hi, I'm Casey McGraw, the General Manager of Schottenkirk Ford. We're going to start doing something here at Schottenkirk that we're really excited about. You may have already noticed our Facebook page, the new edition of the 360-degree videos. This allows the user to control the video in virtual reality and see it from any angle you choose, simply by moving your device or scrolling with your finger or your mouse. At Schottenkirk, we've decided to take this groundbreaking technology and apply it to the car shopping experience. Now, if you're interested in a new truck, a family car, or a brand new convertible Mustang, you can simply log on to our Facebook page or our YouTube page and see it for yourself in full HD 360-degree detail. Or contact one of our sales associates who will send you the link directly. If you like what you see and want to take it for a test drive, simply stop on by and take it for a spin. At Schottenkirk Ford, we're committed to not only keep up with new market technology, but we strive to be innovators, while always keeping your comfort and convenience as our #1 priority. So follow us on Facebook, check out our new 360 VR videos, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Be sure to check out New Blue Home and Gift, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Find us on Twitter at New Blue Home. Everything beautiful for your home or a special gift can be found at New Blue Home and Gift. Call us today at 706-455-3873 or visit us at 531 East Main Street, Suite 103 in downtown Blue Ridge. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. We are at Blue Jeans Pizza in Blue Ridge, Georgia. It's time for the All-Star panel. I'm here with Rick and Bruce. Glad to have you back, Bruce.
Good to be back.
Glad to have you back.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Okay.
It is a happy Friday.
It's a happy Friday now that we got all the pleasantries out of the way, okay? So you think it's a cigar? I think it's a cigar. I think we have to order a whole box if we go into the...
Should I tell him that?
Huh?
Should I tell him that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're blaming. We're gonna blame the cigar on the two big wins.
Well, we had the right cigar.
Blame's not choice of
Oh,
word.
folks,
Bad
by
choice.
the way, he's not only Rick, he's the Cub fan. Now, I almost
I
had
got
to,
my Cubby Blue on
I almost
today.
had to call the home office on you
Oh,
last
boy.
night. I'm not going to tell him.
I walked 14 miles last night in my family room. I had the pedometer on last night.
Carpet guy coming today to
Carpet's
replace
gone.
it. Yeah. It's the wear mark.
Yeah, it's called the tracks of my tears.
Folks, obviously we have the Cub fan
Yes,
here.
sir. We got two Cub
I
fans.
know you're a Cubs
I
fan.
don't have all the paraphernalia. I'm not a, club manager.
Yeah.
It's Cub fan.
The
I mean,
Cub.
I did that a year ago. You were nowhere around when I did that.
Holy
right?
cow. Cubs
Yeah,
Holy cow.
that's right. Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win!
Last night, you know what I like? I'm sorry. Well, if we have some national fans, I'm just going to throw it out there to you. I am so glad that you're getting broke in because, you need heartache. I mean, they need heartache, right?
Yeah, well,
Go to Cleveland.
No, I mean, do you understand? You're a
kinda-
Cubs fan. Do you understand heartache?
yeah.
Do you
How many-
understand? I
Yes.
mean,
100 years.
I'm a
108
I'm a
years.
Yankees fan.
Heartache.
I understand heartache. We understand losing. We understand. I mean, there is always that time where, the big red machine that I hated when I was a kid, but I had to respect, and they swept the Yankees in 4 straight games.
1970.
Remember the Bruins?
Yeah, right.
All right, so, hey, we Nationals fans, we're sorry.
Heartache seems to walk hand in hand with Dusty Baker. That's the,
Well,
he's kind of.
Has he never won a postseason series? I thought I heard some statistic.
I think you're right. I'm pretty
well,
sure.
last night, it's like I tell people.
With a lot of teams.
They scored 8 runs. The other team scored 9.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
It's the bottom line. Okay?
4 hours and 37 minutes, the longest league 9-inning game in the history of.
The national fans had so much heartache last night. The split second, I mean, this is not even 2 seconds in time that this guy's foot jumps off the bag. This much. It wasn't an inch. I mean, but you could see it in the replay, and the glove is on the leg. The catcher, the strikeout, the strikeout's supposed to be easy. The catcher's supposed to throw it down to first, but he decided to throw it to the right fielder. He thought first was out in right field, and he throws it to the right fielder. Next thing you know, another run is scored.
And then they had that pass ball thing where
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So-
But they were trying to make some claim that the batter's bat hit the helmet of the catcher, and that was some
Well,
sort
then
of
the catcher had
violation.
catcher interference.
That's catcher interference. Then.
No, he put the he hit the glove with his catcher interference
Yeah.
last night.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So,
catcher. Yeah. And then, the left fielder, he's usually pretty sure. I mean, all the way to the wall.
Can you do that again?
All the way to the wall.
You can't do that.
Roll back the tape.
You're just gonna roll back the tape. Are we supposed to talk politics?
I don't know, but I got the box score right here if you want to talk any further.
Actually, you know what? We're actually talking. MSNBC would do better just talking baseball than lying. Okay, wait.
I told
screen.
Right.
I told Bruce today, we got a potential of a road trip ahead of us. Wouldn't that be nice?
Easy there. Pump the brakes there. Wait a minute. We
Remote
gotta get
production.
We
gotta fly the W again.
Yeah, we gotta get past some things.
Yeah, like the Dodgers and like the Astros.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're just saying. We're thinking out of the box here a little bit into the future of a Yankee Cubs road trip, but we're waiting. So
The only thing those teams are guaranteed are 4 more games. Think about that.
All right, seriously, before we get into the politics side, because I got some pet of the week and I got some Friday night football. But before we do get into that, I know true baseball fan, you a Cubs fan, but still yet you respect your opponent. What do you think it's like going up against LA?
I mean, LA was lights out beginning of the season. They had a tough stretch toward the end there when Cleveland got hot, but they are a solid club.
What do you like about the Cubs this year that is different from the World Series Cubs the last
The bullpen.
year? Bullpen?
Yeah, Wade Davis has been really, really. I mean, look at last night. That's the first time this year that he's gone more than 4 outs as a closer.
Right.
And he sucked it up, and I think he threw 44 pitches, something like that.
Yeah, but the other relievers, I mean, you could say he used a lot of pitchers last night.
Well, he did. It was, what they refer to as Johnny Allstaff, right, Richie? Johnny Allstaff came in. That means that every pitcher on the bench, had a shot at this one.
Well, I will tell you this. Here's what I like about the Yankees this year. They're not supposed to be there. Young team.
Very young team.
Young team. There's no Jeters. There's no Derek Jeters on there. There's no
Aaron Judge. Though.
Huh?
You do have an Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Oh, did you see him sky over that wall this high?
Boy, he stands at the plate. It looks
Right?
like Land of the Giants.
But still, yet there's no Derek Jeter on there. There's back in the day. There's no Mike Messina on the hill. There's no who was the lefty that really Pettit. There's no Pettit on the mound.
Andy.
So you got a young team that's not figured to be in the field of play. But there's two things that I loved about this division series. First of all, down 0-2.
Wow.
So they win 3 in a row.
That's big.
And one
In
game,
Cleveland.
In Cleveland. And one game that I just loved was Tanaka's 7 full innings was masterful. He reminds me of a Mike Messina. Remember, Messina had like 15 pitches, and 9 of them he invented himself. And he may have invented a pitch before the game, so you
I'm
don't
telling
know.
you,
Remember
it's the
Messina?
same way as
Tanaka has what a 10 in pitches.
It's just amazing, and he changes up his delivery every time. You never know where it's coming.
So Tanaka had 7 masterful pitches. And then who's the guy coming in that's throwing 103? What's his name, Richie, that's coming in? What's his name? Huh?
Yeah. He was the closer for the Cubs last year.
Right. He's coming in and throwing 103, and I'm like, oh, man, because I'm used to Mariano Rivera coming in, and you knew when he came in. So there's a lot of difference there with the
sinker.
And then the next night, which, what's the manager's name? Girardi has Tanaka. He throws 7 masterful innings. It's a 1-0 game. That's the way it ends. Bullpen, boom, it's over. The next night they have to work through it, and I love that. CC comes in 4 3/4 inning, 9 strikeouts. What is he? 39 years old. Reminds me of David Wells. Remember, David Wells looked like he just had a couple beers and 3 hot dogs. Remember that?
Yeah. Every team used to have one of those.
Yeah,
guys.
Wells looked like he just he was playing headbanging music. Had 3 hot dogs.
You don't remember early win from the White Sox, do you? Boy,
No.
I'll tell you.
But so anyhow,
It's too early for a couple.
Yeah, I know.
CC comes in. I think he's 39, right? Masterful game, although it's 4 2/3 inning. Remind me of the old days of when Torrey would tell what's his name, Cone. He would tell Cone, "Get me 4.5 innings." Remember, David?
That's all I need, David.
Yeah, David, give me 4.5 innings, right? So there's so many resemblance of some Yankees from the past, but whole new group of guys. So
there's one guy that you overlook. You probably didn't overlook him, but Brett Gardner. Brett Gardner is old school baseball.
Yes.
And I think he's a really good influence on that young clubhouse. I mean, that at bat that he had was unbelievable at the end of that game. And then what did he do? Doubles in 2 runs.
Right.
That at bat was classic, old school Brett Gardner. Fouls off. What do you have? 15 pitches or something like that.
Worked it, man.
I mean, he worked
that till.
It was fabulous.
But the thing on that one is 4.5, and then Girardi has to work that bullpen, just keep them guys coming and until he got through the game. So
and remember how much heat he took for game 2. That he didn't make the switch when everyone thought he should have.
Yeah, right.
How come they're allowing 3 National League teams in the playoffs?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. You did that on purpose.
I know. Just kind of opened the door.
I'll give you a segue. Let's talk about the U.S. men's national team not making the World Cup for the first time in 30 plus years.
And what did they play?
Football, man. Football.
Bruce, I'll let you know when to get back in there. I was almost done. Anyhow, Yankees, I was saying the Yankees are playing the Houston National League team, and we'll see. So, obviously, we're pulling for the Cubs, we're pulling for the Yankees, and
the Cubs.
And Bruce is playing soccer. So you want to give us a soccer update real quick, Bruce?
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. had it. They were virtually assured of getting to the World Cup. They played Trinidad and Tobago. All they had to do was draw, start off with an own goal. Then the Trinidad scores another goal, 2-0 at half. They get one back, and that was it. Game over.
And then someone else lost that was predicted to win.
Were you able to see my I care face? Did I?
I'm sorry, folks. This is a tough crew.
I care. I care. I really care.
First time in over 30 years that they're not going to be in the World Cup. But hey, and Fox just signed a big.
Are they in the National League or the American?
That's right.
U.S. men's national.
Oh, okay.
National.
Who do we pull for now? Mexico? Our neighbors to the south? Didn't they win that division?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they came in.
Going away.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, folks, I'm not going to be negative to our soccer friends and. Go ahead, Bruce.
Now, Iceland, a country of 340,000 people, they qualified. So let's pull for Iceland.
Did this really bother you?
Hey, now we can get on to politics now.
What do you have?
I guess I can put my box score away, huh?
Yeah, put your box score away. What do we have on politics?
You said something the other day when we were talking about when you were talking about Trump in a room and the fake news with the nuclear proliferation.
Tenfold, right?
Tenfold, yeah. I'm hopeful that we didn't go over this once before.
We probably did.
What's that?
We probably did.
I'm sure we did. But there's a little excerpt.
There's room for reiterating the truth.
Reiterating, yeah. There's a little excerpt out of Newt Gingrich's book, Understanding Trump, which I think dovetails exactly what you said. And if you'll just indulge me, in Washington, if you can name the capitals of 42 countries, you're thought of as a sophisticated person. If you know the appropriate wine to drink in each of those countries, you're a superstar.
Whoa.
Whether that information is useful is secondary concern to displaying that you know stuff. Therefore, you must belong in the club. Trump is exactly the opposite. He makes certain he knows what he needs to know to be successful at the time he needs to know it. That is the entrepreneurial approach to knowledge rather than the academic one. In fact, in stark contrast to the Washington intelligentsia, that is how most Americans learn when they are motivated out of a need to accomplish something. That literally embodies what he did in that meeting. He had, a dozen people in there, and he went around to each one.
You ask a circle of questions, and when this person gives you something and it makes you think, it'll make you think of what you wanted to ask that person.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that because their litmus test of your level of intelligence and understanding and so on and so forth, they don't know. If you go in a room and you really don't know the details on something, you can push this way, and you can get the circle of conversation where you understand it. So let's say the guy did say, let's say he said, well, what if we increase tenfold? Is that something that is talked about or anything? I mean, then you get the conversation. No, it's not necessary, Mr. President. We wouldn't need to do that. We could do this and modernize this, and it would be equivalent to that. He's learning.
But the takeaway from the coffee server was, I got to call somebody because they're getting ready to up the ante by 10.
And I'm glad you said coffee server because the guy says, hey, I brought the coffee. Oh, I better rush it out and call the New York Times.
That's right.
So, I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've decided that it's a bottom line. It's either or. Either this group is the biggest liars or this group? There's no middle of the road, because all I've heard is the takedown of this cabinet. First of all, Tillerson was, hates Trump, and Tillerson's going to quit, and he's calling him a moron and everything like that. But Tillerson comes out and does a press conference and says, hey, I'm not going to lower myself to discuss this. One, the president's an intelligent man, and I work for the president, and I'm not going anywhere. So either he's lying, right?
Right.
And then yesterday, Kelly comes out.
Says the same thing in so many words.
Yeah, says the same thing in so many words. I'm working for the president of the United States. And I keep thinking, these are smart people, so I think they know what they're going into when they say, yeah, I'm interested in the job.
Yeah.
They know the guy. Yeah. Look at how much airtime has Secretary of Defense Mattis gotten when he said that those comments in that meeting did not take place, the tenfold. Any airtime?
No.
Any airtime? But he said it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was interesting, too, what Kelly followed up with and said, this is the toughest job I've ever had.
Yes, it is.
He said the best job I ever had was being a Marine Corps gunny. I think he said, a master sergeant.
Yeah.
But this is the toughest job I've ever had, and it's the hardest I've ever worked. He said, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, with all the personalities, I mean, it's like herding cats.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's a tough job, and then, all the press that you get, all the stupid stuff from the press.
What about, stupid stuff from the press?
That's
Is that
redundant.
the lead on your I just want one comment on what Rick said. Former President Barack Obama was so in the club, sat so well. He knew more than the capitals of 42 countries. He knew that we had 57 states.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't beat that stuff.
Remember that? I'll never forget that.
Bruce, I gotta
57
go to 57 states.
He did.
The worst part is he knew all their capitals.
That's right.
He was able to name the capitals of those extra ones.
That's
Yeah,
right.
the last
Nowhereistan.
Yeah, he just grew up in a world where they just supersize things.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the Constitution in this touchy area where the president has treaded into. Obviously, president cannot. We don't have a license for NBC, but affiliates have FCC license. They have a license. But his comment concerning, we should look at pulling their license. Is it okay? Freedom of the press, because freedom of what we do. Okay, we have the freedom. Look at that camera. We have the freedom to discuss this. We are very clear that this is our opinion for 30, 40 minutes on Friday mornings. But is it okay for these major, massive networks that have the power to manipulate the people to out and out sit and lie the way they do? Now, I for one don't like to admit it, but I watch Morning Joe every morning at 6.
Yeah, but you do it for another reason.
Exactly. So I can say when Trump says this, I watched it for myself.
Right. Yeah.
But I think that's the background. I mean, like, you have the ability and the freedom to watch all this. So, MSNBC or, pick the bad guy of the week.
CNN.
Yeah, I mean, you have that freedom to watch them. So I don't think, putting a stop on that is something that's going to happen.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Now, you don't watch every day. Now, don't take that wrong. You don't watch every day. This is a concerted effort by major networks that have power to bring our government down. And it's as you may say, wait a minute, you're really stretching this. No, their effort is to bring our form of government down.
Are they going with that effort to the low information voter? Is that what you're saying? I mean, that those people will get swayed such that there'll be
I do this for a living.
Political uprising in the lower classes?
I do this for a living. I'm looking at the mom, the dad that's rushing off to work that just turned on the TV, and it happened to be, they were watching the ball game last night, so ABC Good Morning America or whatever channel, that's the channel it was on.
They're turning on their morning noise.
And they're getting the 10, 15 minutes, and they're not quite have the time to filter through. You got when I say understand, you got to think when you've got people. that are talking for hours about this man being unfit to serve. You're having actual people talk on a daily basis wanting to test or have his psychological evaluation done. These are people that brought up, is it the 25th Amendment, that are reading the 25th Amendment and want to know if the cabinet's going to come together and present a petition to the House of Representatives to remove this man.
Well, Hal Green, a guy from a Democrat from Texas, introduced articles.
He can do that.
Yeah. Happened.
But I'm talking about media this is a media group that went to Puerto Rico and lied. I have friends in Puerto Rico that sent me messages. They sent me messages from Puerto Rico, said, please do not believe CNN. Please do not believe this. I mean, it doesn't matter what the situation is. These people are on a daily basis lying, not bringing us information. I don't know.
My theory is there's always been fake news.
All right, I'll go
It just
with that.
has not been called fake news because no one has ever challenged the mainstream media in the past until Trump came along. Trump's the first one that never has been able to give the media the last word. In the past, they've always had the last word. So people think, well, no one challenged it, I guess it must be right. Now he's challenging it, and now everybody says, and he's calling it fake news. And you know what? You do the research, it tends to be fake news.
And I think it's gotten much more pervasive. I mean, through the 90s.
No question about that as well. You're correct.
Up till now, I mean, it's gotten worse and worse and worse.
Right.
I mean, and look at what they teach kids, starting in kindergarten all the way through college now. I mean, so you're getting a whole cohort of people that think like this.
I was in a meeting with a lady yesterday that went 2 days ago, and I didn't call to find out how it went. And this is in another state. I'll just say in North Carolina. And the lady was supposed to go to the school yesterday because they're going to say making their kids watch CNN. Well, right, in the school. And she's very upset because there was 2 questions that came home on a thing that they're asking these little kids. Should you kneel? Is it okay to kneel for the national anthem or not? This was on a questionnaire, right? And there was another question, I forget the question, but the one on the national anthem. This is a kid comes home, homework. One of the is it okay? Is it freedom of speech to kneel? All right, for the national anthem. All right, this is the kind of stuff. And the mother's upset because the TVs are all on CNN. Well, CNN has provided all the TVs, so the schools, your airports,
Same as airports, yeah.
Right, they provide the TVs, but one of the rules is you got to keep it on CNN. Really? Really? And we have government schools that take our tax money, but they got to keep the TV on CNN. All right,
it's pervasive.
So I'm okay with him challenging. I'm very big on the First Amendment. I think what they have to do is stop me. They got to stop the internet. Because as soon as I hear something on MSNBC, boom, I research it. Or I tell my audience start researching it. And you research it, and you research. And they just don't have us. We're the ones we have to put a stop to. That's my opinion. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
What I always say, if you go and you start the fire, you light the place on fire, then you call the
fire engine,
and you report it, and you follow the fire truck to the fire, take the pictures of the fire, and then report the fire. Are you a journalist? Are you
an arsonist?
A newsmaker. You're a newsmaker.
I mean,
newsmaker hotline.
Okay, let's move to healthcare. Let me just
shifting gears.
Newsmaker can be.
Should I call this? I don't know if this is called bragging.
Oh, I know where you're going with this one. I won't give it away.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, I don't know if this is bragging, but I told you stay with Rand Paul. Did I say stay with Rand every day? Right?
Yep.
Whatever happens, stay with Senator Rand Paul. I told you that. I told you today that Trump and Rand Paul went and played golf. I have watched the media do everything they can to get Senator Rand Paul to say or go negative against the president. He never did. Yesterday, Rand Paul standing there and basically got the biggest part of what he wanted with the President of the United States. Do you like what happened yesterday?
I do. I absolutely do. He's taking it back to him. He's taking it back to both the Democrats and the Republicans. Saying, if you're not going to do anything, I'm going to do something, and we're going to keep this. We're going to keep this ball rolling. Now, either get on the bandwagon or go home.
What say you?
Well, I think he started things because basically it was, big headlines things, but basically he said these agencies that are in charge of insurance and all that have to start working on it. So it's not going to be, insurance across state lines today. So I think he's starting the ball rolling. But I think, I don't know if it was this morning or it was part of what he did yesterday with the cutting the subsidies to the insurance companies. I don't know if that happened yesterday.
The CSRs.
Yes.
The cost sharing reduction.
That gets the insurance company's attention.
That gets,
and
yes, that
the
gets
base's
everybody.
attention.
That gets everybody's attention,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes,
but
sir.
what I would like to have happen in school, here's what I'd like to have happen in school in our public education system, which our tax dollars go to. Instead of asking the kids about the right to protest and kneel toward the national anthem, actually teach the kids the function of government and how it works. Like the House appropriates the funds, and how it was against the law for the CSRs, cost sharing reduction payments, to be made because they were not appropriated. Period.
Yeah, exactly.
And it went to court, and a court said it was against the law, right?
Correct.
So now all of a sudden this morning, instead of the CNNs and the MSNBC, it is Trump slashed yesterday the CSRs, and it's going to hurt his base, and it's going to hurt poor people, and all these things is going to happen. Why don't they stand up at the chalkboard and say, here's how our founding fathers laid out the government. These people get to spend the money.
Yeah.
This court over here said the balance is the court. Court said this is wrong, right?
Exactly. Yep. That's all he's doing.
Yes.
Now, that's not going to do, that's probably not even going to, that's going to be challenged.
What?
You know it's going to be challenged.
Oh, true.
Yeah, but here's the thing I like.
New
is
York and California attorneys generals have already come out and said they're going to sue.
Here's what I like. First of all, I don't know if you pick up, I like the guy. Okay. I like the guy.
Rand Paul?
So Paul and Rand Paul
And the
went,
Donald.
And the Donald. Paul went up a couple notches, and I'm going to tell you, I've studied the Donald. I studied the Donald. I'm doing better than most of these people. You heard that?
Yeah.
I studied this guy. Let me tell you what I love about this guy is the friggin' nerve he has. He goes on there yesterday, and I'm waiting for somebody to say something. The closest we came to really taking on the media was when Newt Gingrich took them on in South Carolina in that primary debate that night.
Yeah.
When he
And
just
he
really...
That was
right?
Megyn Kelly,
right,
wasn't it?
right. But that was the closest we've really come to somebody since Trump. But here's the thing I really enjoyed is he had the nerve to say exactly what I want. Look, Puerto Rico was in a mess before this hurricane came through. They had no infrastructure before the hurricane came through. We cannot keep FEMA there indefinitely to rebuild their infrastructure under the guise of recovery.
Yeah.
Did he call it right out?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that.
And of course, Mayor Nasty knows going, oh, you're leaving people to die, and this and that. And I think a lot of Americans look at that and say, fine, you're going to get help in the beginning, but pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Okay, I don't know what your final thought is today.
We're already to that point?
Yeah, we have to. I got to talk high school football. I got a pet of the week.
Jeez.
I mean, well, we could go. I didn't tell us to spend the first 15 minutes on baseball, but I did participate. Okay?
Jason in the house.
sat here,
We got Jason in the house.
Yeah, I participated, but I didn't say. But I want to say now, I'm hoping. I'm trying to get this back and forth with you. See if I'm telepathically if it's working. I'm hoping that you're going to discuss the EPA in clean energy and how the Donald kept another promise.
No, I wasn't going to talk about that at all.
I just thought you might. Just something told me he would bring that up. How about you?
No.
You don't have to bring that up, but what do you have, sir?
Well,
He's always
now
got
that
the
you
folder.
asked.
I know, he's got the orange folder.
Yeah, I will tell you this. People are curious.
Yeah.
They see him with the folder.
You know, orange
He
is,
has charts
orange is
and-
someone's favorite.
Yeah, and he has
someone's
chart-
favorite-
Can I get a word in?
He has charts and graphs.
I'm just going to read a little bit. This is from a journal thing. It says, while a barrel's worth of oil weighs just over 300 pounds, it can be stored in a $40 tank. The equivalent amount of energy in the kind of batteries that Tesla uses in their car weighs several tons and costs several $100,000 to engineer it and do it. So the whole thing with electric cars is they're going to be a minor part of the automotive industry in the U.S. for years, decades to come, because there's just nothing in the engineering of batteries that's going to produce a light battery anytime in our lifetime. So they'll be a part of it because the government is forcing it, but at the end of the day, internal combustion engines are going to rule for decades.
So the plans for the recharging station at the house you put on hold right now?
Yes, absolutely.
I just thought, I didn't know you had the.
No supercharger for me.
Well, no, I did want. I was waiting to see you all week because the president of the United States and
Through it?
yes,
EPA.
yeah, EPA from Oklahoma. The
Former AG.
Yes, the continued rolling back of these terrible, terrible regulations that is freeing up an industry.
Education. Betsy DeVos doing the same thing.
Right.
Interior, Ryan Zinke doing
Right.
the same thing. I mean, yeah.
We can't take
This
it.
stuff is rolling back, and you're going to see the results of this not this year, not next year, maybe in the third year of administration, and thereafter. I mean, he just has to keep doing it, and it was a campaign.
And we got to
process.
keep supporting him, and we do. We
Yes.
really do. What do you got?
I'm going with the community today. Blue Ridge has got some beautiful weather this weekend.
Yes.
We've got Art in the Park, which is one of the largest festivals that the city entertains. We'll have thousands of people here. We want to all be good ambassadors to the guests because that's what drives this engine here. And we've got the Apple
mean give up-
Festival in LJ.
Yes.
Does that
Apple-
mean give up your parking space to a visitor?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Give up my parking spot, my dedicated parking spot. That was gone, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we've got the Apple Fest in LJ, and you're going to have a booth down
Yeah.
there. Sam will be manning the booth right now, I believe, right? She's
Well, they're
probably
setting
gearing
up today. Lonnie and Sam have a full day of setup down there, and
Good.
they're ready to go.
And then
Lonnie
next
launches
week-
a new show. Richie and Lonnie and Sam launching a new show this weekend.
Cool.
Couldn't we have a hard cider or something this morning?
No, we shouldn't have a hard cider. No, we shouldn't have a hard cider.
Okay, a soft cider.
Yeah.
Soft cider.
Yeah, we have a high just being here.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then next week we got Paws in the Park. Humane Society of Blue Ridge will be sporting animals, and all of the veterinary clinics will be represented for the first time. Every veterinary clinic in the area will be represented, doing different things, chipping dogs and vaccinations. So come on out and see it.
Well, folks, we're gonna take a break. Jason's gonna come in. We're gonna take like 4 or 5 minutes just to run down on what's going on this Friday night before our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society. But I want to say this, okay, before we close. Forget all the politics, okay? You know how it is if you're a sports fan out there. If you were wearing your lucky socks that night, you can't change the socks, right? If you know how it is, all right? You got to go with it. Sports fans understand this, okay? If the couch pillow was over here the night the team won, it's got to be over here again. Well, the other night I'm watching the Yankees game and I was smoking a very expensive cigar.
Yes.
No cheap cigars, expensive.
One of two.
Yeah, wait a minute. Would you?
I'm sorry.
God almighty. He's had the hard side.
I know.
So I'm smoking a very expensive cigar.
Fly the W.
As the Yankees are playing the Cleveland Indians, right? And I'm like, could this just be a fluke, right? So I happen to have a second very expensive cigar.
Oh, yeah.
The second one. So I tried it again last night. See, hey, could this go be a
Ba-boom.
back-to-back?
Yeah.
So last night, I went with the second most expensive cigar I think I've ever smoked. A win! All I'm letting you know is I'm out.
Oh,
And if you
yeah,
want the Cubs
yeah,
to win,
we got a
you
dear,
better belly up.
we've got a
right?
dear friend
I'm
that,
out.
yeah.
I got to, I'm just letting him know if he
We
wants
have
the Cubs to win.
we have a
found the
mutual-
cue.
We got a mutual dear friend who had surgery, and the doctor
Yes.
said no cigars for a while. So he's been nice to just kind of push them to the left.
This is such
To the
a
left.
power grab. I can't believe it.
That's right.
I'm your host. This has to be over. We'll be right back. Jason's going to be in here. High school football. We want to talk about that in our Pet of the Week. Don't leave us now. Take us to break.
Kenty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Fine sterling silver, luxurious baby alpaca and exotic woods. A beautiful selection of exquisitely crafted gifts for all of your special occasions. Visit our website, artesiansilvergifts.com, or follow us on Twitter at Artesian Silver Gifts. Kenty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop in downtown Blue Ridge. Hey Rebel fans, come visit the Dairy Queen Grill and Chill of Blue Ridge, Fannin County High School's Meet, Eat, and Treat headquarters. Highway 5 in Blue Ridge. Proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels. Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels. The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
The 46th Annual Georgia Apple Festival Arts and Crafts Show, one of the South's premier festivals, is held in beautiful Ellijay, Georgia. Enjoy watching demonstrating artists and musicians, or try some tasty cooking from one of our delicious food vendors. With a parade, car show, and handmade arts and crafts from more than 300 vendors, there's plenty of fall fun for everyone. For more information, visit georgiaapplepestival.org.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and we're in Blue Ridge, Georgia at Blue Jeans Pizza. It's Friday morning, and I'm here with Jason Banks, the director of Team FYN Sports. And guess what? If it feels a little cool out there, it will tonight on the sideline, because it's going to be perfect football weather tonight, right?
Finally.
We are there in the season where right?
It's perfect. Finally.
Jason, how you doing?
Good.
You want my game of the week now? Yep. I'll throw it right out.
Sure.
I tell you what, the game that I think in the state of Georgia, maybe in the state of Georgia, that people are not going to pay attention to as much is Ridgeland Heritage.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You with me on that? Quad A Region 6, Ridgeland Heritage, I feel that's going to be a defining game in that region, and Heritage doesn't get the respect they deserve, and Ridgeland may have the team to go the distance. Wesley Tankersley, what do you think?
I think so too. I think Heritage is pretty fortunate that the game is at home this year. You know,
yes.
They're hosting them. So,
right.
Because if they weren't, I would really be leaning a lot more towards Ridgeland to win that one.
If it was home,
that could be the determining
touchdown,
factor right there.
that touchdown, that you get, that home field touchdown.
Yeah, and the fans are going to be packing the stands out. Student section's probably going to be going crazy for all 4 quarters. I expect it'll be a close game.
Just while we're on Quad A Region 6, that's what we do here at Team FYN Sports. I want to run 2 more by, and then I'm going to let Jason take off a little bit with 3A Region 7. But Southeast Whitfield is going over to Gilmer. I hate to be really quick on that. That's over by halftime. Southeast Whitfield, the Raiders over there. I think they're the Raiders. The other team's kind of putting the brakes on at halftime with Gilmer. They're rebuilding. I don't see Southeast Whitfield being that kind of team.
No, especially after losing.
Right.
Coming off a loss, probably going to play all 4 quarters.
Another good one tonight will be Northwest Whitfield. Northwest Whitfield will be heading over to take on the Pickens Dragons. The other thing, I talked to Coach Parker last night, Jason, is Northwest Whitfield, I forget the guy's name, their quarterback, very, very big name quarterback, he's got an ankle problem. He's not playing. He's out. He's out. So I talked to him last night. What's it like when you're preparing for a quarterback from Northwest Whitfield that is a D1 quarterback, and you're preparing and watching film on defense to adjust to him, and then all of a sudden you have a different quarterback?
Yeah, you got to expect the play calling is going to change.
Going to change.
Yep.
So that's Northwest Whitfield over Pickens. My picks for tonight is obviously in that region, Southeast Whitfield and Lafayette is off, but Southeast Whitfield over Gilmer is my pick. I'm going with Ridgeland. I like Coach Tankersley. I know Coach Tankersley, so I'm picking Coach Tankersley. So I am going with Ridgeland Heritage, but I think it's the game to watch. And I have to go with Pickens and Chris Parker and the guys. They've had a tough week. Sean Mask, a young man, 15 years old, got killed. Also, young man Simons, I forget his first name, I'm sorry about that, died in a car crash earlier in the year. So the Dragons are having an emotional night. So I'm going to go with the Dragons. Let's move over to 3A. What do you got on the list there for 3A?
Well, Fannon's going to Dawson. That's going to be a tough game for them. Before we talk about that one, though, I think really the game to watch this week is going to be Union at North Hall, or hosting North Hall. No, at North Hall. Excuse me. They're at North Hall, and that's a must-win game for them. It's must-win. I think that they have a team that's talented enough to beat North Hall. I watched Fannin play at North Hall on a tough loss. I think that Union they have a different offensive scheme. They tend to throw the ball a little bit more. If they're able to do that and move the ball well, I think it'll be a good game. If not, if North Hall's defense steps up like they have, most of the season, then that could pretty much kind of be the dagger to. Well,
we are at the point of the region play right now where they are must wins.
Got to win.
Yeah.
And they've
tonight's a big night around high school football.
Absolutely. And Union's got a pretty good schedule after this. Of course, they do have to come to Fannin, but for the most part, if you're looking at the rest of the picture here, if they can beat North Hall tonight, they're very much in the mix to play in the postseason.
But it's just the reality is, I was with Coach Allison Monday night, and they are still hobbling along, and we'll just put it like that. They still got players hobbling along from the GAC.
Full Wright's ankle still giving him trouble. We know that.
So we know North Hall's a tough one, and then Fannin is going to be over at Dawson, and you and I both watched Dawson the other night.
Right. I think Fannin has depth in the trenches to make this game good. I really think the battle's going to be won on the line. And when we saw Dawson play Union, man, they got some big guys, They got some big guys on the offensive line, especially. They got that push right away, and they were pretty much, by the end of the second quarter, they were able to do whatever they wanted. For the defensive line, for the Fannin Rebels, I think that they're capable of handling that and getting penetration. So I think it's going to be a good game.
What's your calls? We got 3 games tonight. Make your picks.
I got Lumpkin.
Put you on the spot.
Lumpkin over GAC. No, I'm just playing, man. GAC will be done by the end of the first 15 minutes. I'm going to say North Hall is going to beat Union in a close one. I hope I'm wrong. I'm actually kind of pulling for the Panthers because they've been through so much. And then I'm calling Fannin to upset Dawson tonight. Shock the world.
You doing that one?
Yeah, for real.
All right, I can take that. I like it.
I really think they can.
I like it. Pulling it out.
Oh,
yes, go ahead.
Just if I can, if you got a second. I did take a look at some of the more of 3A and other teams kind of that we're not seeing up here that are going to be tough and maybe give GAC a run for their money later this season. Peach County looking really good. They've only lost 1 game this season. I didn't realize that. And that was at 5A Warner Robins High, who's undefeated, and that was a three-point game. So that's my pick for 3A.
Folks, this is Jason Banks, Director of Team FYN Sports. Follow Team FYN Sports. Go to our Facebook page. Find Team FYN Sports Facebook page. Also, follow us on Twitter at Team FYN Sports. Tonight is big around North Georgia football. It's big region night. This is the night where some teams have to win. It's must win. So you're going to see a lot of great games. If you can't get there, follow us at Team FYN Sports. Jason's going to be on the sideline. I'm going to be on the sideline. RJ's going to be on the sideline. We're going to have people all over on the sideline tweeting out. So follow us there. Jason, thank you. It's time for Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. We're going to go straight into that. Thank you, Humane Society of Blue Ridge, and take us through our Pet of the Week. Hey, Augie, you wait. I know it's time for Pet of the Week. Hey, I'm your host, BKP, Humane Society of Blue Ridge. It's time for Pet of the Week. What Augie is doing, I have these treats, and Augie is Augie is watching me point to the camera, wondering, all right. Rena, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Augie, get your mitts off. Look at that. You're slobbering all over. Here, relax. Augie. Ow. You wolf. You little heart. Sit.
Yeah.
Sit. Nice.
Nice. Down.
Nice. Lay down.
Down.
Lay down.
There you go.
Lay down. Okay.
Good boy.
So this is Augie?
This is Augie. Yeah. And as you can tell, he is a fun-loving puppy. He's 6 months old. So he is still a puppy, but he's very good in his kennel, which means that he does not have accidents in his kennel. He's a really good dog. He loves to play. If we take him outside and it's really hot, he will find the shaded spot. But he plays well with other dogs there at the Humane Society. He's been neutered already, so he's pretty much ready to go. Like I said, he's 6 months old, and he's just a fun-loving dog. We believe him to be some Jack Russell in him, terrier mix, some sort of terrier mix.
What do you think the color in his face? What do you think Augie's color? Because it's got a brindle-like look,
yeah, it's
right?
a beautiful
yes,
brindle.
Augie, you
his
are
face
beautiful.
is just absolutely gorgeous. He has the lines, like the stripes of the brindle with the brown and the black. He doesn't have a tail, so
we're not supposed to be.
He kind of has this wiggle butt thing going on when he wags his tail.
Do you give kisses?
He gives kisses. He kissed me the whole way here.
Did you kiss all
He
around?
was kissing me
You're
and
not trying to.
loving on
All
me.
right, one more. Set. Chill. Chill. You're gonna learn to chill.
I don't think he knows that word.
Yeah, he knows chill. Okay, the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. We're glad to have Augie and Rita with us here today. Tell us a little bit about the intake program, all the things we like to let everybody know on every Pet of the Week on how to adopt and what you guys do when you get a dog or a cat in.
Okay, when we get the dogs and cats in, they go immediately into intake, which means that they stay in intake for 14 days so that we can monitor and make sure that there are no diseases until they go over to general population. And after the 14 days, they will move over to general pop, and we begin training as soon as we can for the basics: sit, lay down, stay. And we play with them outside. We just have wonderful, loads of fun with the dogs and the cats. We have volunteers that come in and help us. They come and they sit with the cat, they socialize with the cats, and if we have a dog that's afraid of people, which we really don't have any like that, but if we do, then the volunteer will sit and spend time and help groom them and just really work with the dogs and the cats. And so anyway, I got off track there. So after intake...
what got you off track?
I'm watching you guys.
What got you off track? I'm sorry. I can't help it, Augie.
He's a lot of fun, isn't he? He is a lot of fun.
Augie, I have a question. Pay attention. No, we'll talk it. You can have this in a minute. Do you want to find a home? Do you?
Say yes.
Do you want to find a home?
Yes, I do.
Say, yeah, there you go, up and down, yes.
Yes,
you want to find a home? Yes.
Yes.
Now, what do you think of Augie? I think children.
Oh, yes,
Oh, my
definitely.
gosh.
I would think he does like children. We can never say that they can get along with cats. However, where the cats are in their general population, they have a porch. So we walk a dog by the porch to see if they're going to try to go after the cat. Augie, come over here. Or if they're, just going to go, okay, whatever. And Augie was actually a little afraid of the cats. So he got a little nervous around the cats.
We got to have a talk.
But he does play with other dogs. He'll play with Daytona, he'll play with Buddy, he'll play with Rainey. We've had all of them on the show before. So I think other dogs...
So if you have a dog, you need to do a meet and greet.
Meet and greet, that's correct. And even a child.
Right. Folks, if you want to contact the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, their website, you do have to schedule a meet and greet so they know you're coming and they can plan it. You want to bring your other pets.
Yes.
And you want to bring your children.
This time I wasn't listening to you.
You want to bring your other pets, your children, and your wife too. Oh,
yes, your wife. Yeah.
Yes.
We want the whole family to
everybody.
be sure that they are picking the right pet for the entire family. So we want the kids to like them, the mom, the dad, everybody, so that everyone can be in with the training and with playing with them. And
when you got here, did you ask Sam if you could stay?
Yes, he did. He rides very well in a vehicle. He's just a great dog. He does have energy. He's not high energy, but he has some energy. And after he's done playing outside, he'll take his nap and wait for his next turn outside. So.
I'm going to let you have this in a minute. We're almost done. Tell people how to adopt Augie or come out and check out all the great pets at the Humane Society of Blue Ridge.
Okay, follow us on Facebook. We show all of our dogs. We post lost or found dogs. We show our new dogs that come in or other dogs that have been adopted. Call us at 706-632-4357. Go to our website, which is humanesocietyofblueridge.org, and there's a wealth of information on there. And I'm leaving something out. What am I leaving out?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention.
171 Mineral Springs Road, where we're actually located. Come on out there and you can visit the dogs. We are open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 5. And Saturdays, 10 to 2. We are closed Sundays and Tuesdays. And holidays, just call and find out if we're open. We were open for Columbus Day, but like Thanksgiving Day and things like that, we will be closed.
August. October 21st.
Yes.
Paws in the Park.
Yes, Paws in the Park, and we are really trying to bring every single dog that we have, including the 2 little puppies.
Oh, the puppies,
The
Augie,
2
you
little
will be
puppies.
there.
Yes.
Come down, and if you want to see all of these beautiful dogs, and you bring yours, Paws in the Park, everybody's welcome. What time's the parade start? Do you remember?
I think it's 10.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
so. But we'll
positive.
have that on Fetcher News. They have it on their website. They have it on their Facebook page. We'll be sharing it out. Paws in the Park. You don't want to miss it. October. Why August?
Yes, that's a fun day. Very much.
October 21st.
Lot of fun. Lot of fun.
All right, Augie, let's close by. You were nice. Sit. Okay, there you go, baby.
And he likes
This is Augie. I would like for you to take Augie home today.
There you go.
And
There you go. Good boy.
and this is our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Rena, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
all the volunteers and everyone out there. We'll see you later. Was that what I'm saying? We're out of here.